Hi, I'm Tomas, and this is The Nina Show, featuring Nina. Ow!
Nina, come back!
Our host today will be Nina. Nina, take it away.
Thank you, Nina. So we're here today to talk about inclusive economy, and it's really important because, for the people who don't know what inclusive economy is, that everyone in society, no matter what minority or no matter what social background they have, they always have a place in the economy, a job, some kind of sustainability. So basically, what it is that all minorities, that could be maybe in the case of Ecuador, indigenous groups, black people, and all those different minorities that are in Ecuador. There's always, the point of this is to find a job so that everyone can have them in all parts of the economy and different sectors.
Yes, thank you, Nina. Okay, so there are some statistics that we can use to figure out whether the economy is inclusive. These include median household income. Obviously, we would want this statistic to be very high, as the higher income the middle stratum receives, it means that the entire economy is benefiting from economic growth. We also have poverty rate, which obviously should ideally be low, employment rate, which should be high, underemployment rate, which should be low, wealth Gini, and income Gini. Now, the Gini coefficient, as it is called, was invented by Mr. Gini in some year, which I cannot remember. The Gini coefficient measures how spread out a data set is. So the higher the Gini statistic, the more spread out the data is. And so clearly, if we have a wealth Gini and an income Gini, we would want this statistic to be very, very low, because we want everyone to have benefits from the economy and to have a high income. We also have the gender income gap, which currently is at 77 cents on the dollar. This means that for every dollar that a man makes, a woman makes around 77 cents. And we want this to be basically the same. We have Barclay's Women in Leadership Index, which measures how many women are in leadership positions, such as CEOs or presidents of companies or directors or board directors. We want this to be high again. Infant mortality by ethnicity. This is to measure racial inequality, and we want to compare this to infant mortality by other ethnicities. So, if the infant mortality of overwhelmingly indigenous people and versus white people, and see if they are more or less the same. If they're not the same, we have a problem. Life expectancy by ethnicity, basically the same, and median household income by ethnicity. So yes, as soon as these statistics arrive at the place we want them to be at, we can stop worrying about inclusive economic growth. Right now, we are clearly not at the place we would want to be, so we need to make some changes stat.
So we have many different programs that we've been working on, different parts of the Ecuadorian industry, and the main problem we see nowadays is that there's too much of a gap between the rich and the poor in the different ethnicities in Ecuador. And what we're trying to do is to include these poor and minorities into today's economy and society. So basically what we are trying to do is trying to get rid of the problems that the people here have that keeps them in the lower part of the economy, keeps them poor and all that. One of the main problems that we see today is that the people who would like to study, they can many times not study because they don't have the money for it. They have to support their family. They have to do all this kind of stuff, and they don't have the time or can afford to go to college. So one of the ideas we had was to have a project in the colleges which many first world countries have adopted, where students can study 6 months in college and work for another 6 months. And basically what happens in the idea of this program is that the people can get experience in the different jobs that they want to learn, and they can sustain their families at the same time because they can work and also they can pay for the tuition that they might not have enough money. So that's one thing we'd be eliminating, and that's how we would include the poor people in the economy and education. Another thing that we would like to be doing is for the people who suffer the drug crisis that are all over South America and Ecuador. Usually people affected are the people who have a low income or that are poor and they don't have education, or there's many different variables, but basically what we think it would be a key factor in including the people who have gone through a rough time is opening different public facilities that help rehabilitate different drug users, and that's how we re-include these people in the society. The third idea, we have many different ones, but these are the three main ones that we're focusing on now. The third one would be that since agriculture is such a big part of the Ecuadorian culture and is such a big way that families here make money, a way that they could make more money and be more effective with the time and the things that they have would be to have a program that helps them pay for different equipment and machinery that they might not have money to deal with. So all these different projects would be a way to include the people who usually don't have advantage because of how they were born or what ethnicity or what the social class. So the main focus would be to try and eliminate or rehabilitate people who have problems in these sections. Thank you, Nina.